Myself some salmon, but it's frozen, and I forgot to defrost it.
Because the American people need the truth about the
federal government has confirmed the ban on social media app TikTok on government
How
devices.
safe is TikTok? Jennifer
We're looking at
Lopez,
TikTok. We may be banning TikTok. We may be
by the
doing
Chinese Communist Party.
There's been a recent push from governments around the world. It's been making headlines every week, and it seems like only a matter of time before it actually happens. But has anybody sat down and asked themselves, why do so many governments want to ban TikTok? It is quite an interesting question. Why would one of the world's most popular social media apps, where most people go to watch dancing and cat videos, receive such a heavy backlash from governments all over the globe? Numerous countries, including the EU, Australia, and Britain, have all banned the app from government devices. And in India, the app has been completely outlawed for nearly 3 years. The United States, which will be my main point of focus for this video, has been talking of a nationwide ban since the Trump administration. And after the White House's recent demand that ByteDance either sell TikTok to an American company or that they'll ban the app altogether, time is ticking on how much longer TikTok remains available to the public, no pun intended. But this begs the question, what is it about TikTok that warrants a ban? After its 2018 release, TikTok rose to become one of the fastest growing social media apps of all time. The predominant archetype for snappy, engaging, short-form videos that both YouTube and Instagram have tried replicating. Its Chinese parent company ByteDance also has an estimated net worth of more than $250 billion. And while it seems like a harmless app on the surface, there exists a buried cloud of extreme data collection, geopolitics, and cybersecurity concerns that surround the app, which I want to focus on in this video. And the first and foremost of these points is data. In the information world that we live in today, data is the new oil. Like oil, data is mined in a complex process, using expensive technology, and it's largely owned by a handful of powerful players. It's the fuel that runs the interconnected digital world that we live in today. Like all other social media apps, TikTok collects its users' data for specific purposes, whether that be for targeted advertising or the creation of a For You page. The more activity on the app, liking, sharing, responding, and uploading, the more data that's generated, and the more accurate social media algorithms become in predicting and shaping its users' feed. The result of this is that social media platforms become information gatekeepers of sorts, knowing very specific, personal information about billions of people across the globe. Especially considering how addictive social media is, this is an expansive and at times incomprehensible amount of data. From a political perspective, the data generated from social media is highly valuable. It can provide a key snapshot into a society's patterns and moods, and it also has the potential to be used for surveillance and security measures. According to TikTok's privacy policy, the app collects data related to things such as your location, your search history, the keystroke rhythms of when you type, your entire camera roll, including the photos that aren't even in use, your messages, and most importantly, your metadata, which is data that provides information about other data. The descriptor of how, when, where, and why you decided to watch a TikTok. But what TikTok collects from its users isn't all that different to other social media apps. So what's all the commotion? This has a lot to do with the location of which this data is stored. In 2017, China introduced a new national intelligence law that required all of its companies to hand over any personal data that was deemed relevant to national security. And although ByteDance maintains that they hold all of its US user data on servers that are outside of China, and that this isn't accessible by the Chinese government, the company also recently fired 4 of its employees for unlawfully accessing data on 2 BuzzFeed journalists. To combat the issue of data storage, the company has also put forward plans to move all of its US data onto Native American soil through the American tech company Oracle, in a move known as Project Texas, which has received lukewarm reception from US Congress.
How do you convince the Congress of the United States that there can be a clean break?
But I think the key point here is that even the possibility of Chinese data collection is a threat enough in itself to warrant a ban. It's easy to forget that a considerable amount of today's warfare is not fought on the land, air, or sea, but in cyberspace, a developing and uneasy field where the traditional parameters of warfare are not clear-cut. We've already seen the Russian government interfere in a democratically run election back in 2016, which raises concerns for some that China could use TikTok as a tool to manipulate public opinion. But all you have to do is take a look at the Snowden reports to grasp the extent and value of data collection in cyberspace. Edward Snowden, a former employee at the National Security Agency, revealed that the United States government had been secretly spying on millions of Americans from some of the world's major media companies, including Google, Yahoo, and Microsoft, and that they all colluded with other nations to do so in a network known as the Five Eyes Alliance. Whatever your personal thoughts on Snowden may be, these reports do reveal one thing related to the TikTok ban, and is that when an immensely popular platform arises, and one that comes from a rival country in China, the dominance that the United States has historically held over collecting information is put under threat. America and its allies have long enjoyed a degree of authority in the international digital market. I mean, the majority of the world's social media apps originate from Silicon Valley, and with increasing military and economic tensions between China and America, TikTok presents a new potential realm of conflict, and that's a battle over information control. Pretty much all Western social media apps are banned in China, including the likes of Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So it does make sense as to why the Western world would want to respond this way. But this also begs the question, what would a TikTok ban even look like? Historically, governments haven't really completely outlawed the use of a social media app, so the process of a ban remains unclear. If we use the United States for example, the complete ban of an app could present many legal challenges, particularly on First Amendment grounds, and difficulty arises in removing an app from privately owned phones. Another dimension of a ban is the impact that it would have on the thousands of content creators who have made a living using the app, and the millions of people who enjoy using TikTok every day, with some people describing the app as a platform for new voices, creativity, and stories to be shared to the world. A recent Keep TikTok rally helps portray this perspective best. Ultimately, in the process of a TikTok ban, we are confronted with an avalanche of big ideas and differing perspectives, from whether an outright ban or a move of data location is the most viable option. The politics of social media is an ever-developing and complex field to delve into, but what I really want to draw from this story is the importance of our privacy, a conversation that's often overlooked, as we as users are the indispensable element of this TikTok puzzle.
I think we need to be very worried about the sorts of information we're asked to give up and expected to give up, not just because of how it might be used today, but how it could be used in the future.
My view is that cyberspace dynamics will reflect larger geopolitical dynamics. Our adversaries will be using whatever means they have available in order to surveil us and to harvest information. A greater challenge, though, is how we manage it with allies. As a result, we also do need to make sure that we're not complacent in terms of what these surveillance technologies are capable of doing. And in particular, we need to be extraordinarily mindful and indeed vigilant against efforts by private companies in particular to monetize this data and use that to their own advantage.
It's critical for us to realise how valuable user data is in the digital world, and how governments and companies alike want to be in control of it, or at least be able to access it. One popular alternative to a TikTok ban is stronger legislative oversight into how all social media apps collect our data, including comprehensive, inalienable rights that protect citizen data around the world. I think that the notions of egalitarianism, permission, and individual user rights are crucial looking forward in the increasingly interconnected digital world that we live in. And while the surveillance politics of foreign governments may seem like a far-off battle fought in an imaginary elsewhere, they ironically stem from the devices that we hold closest to us and carry around with us almost 24 hours a day. So just keep it all in mind the next time you open up a cat TikTok at 2 AM in the morning. This video is actually an old university assignment that I made last year for a politics course, but due to all the recent events in the media, I dug it up as a way to share my perspective on the issue. And in keeping with the spirit of healthy journalism, I've included a link to my full script and reference list if you're interested in where I got my information from. I really like making these types of research videos, where I ask an interesting question and then fall down the rabbit hole of trying to answer it. So if you enjoyed the video, please share it with your friends and consider subscribing. Other than that, I'll see you next time.